Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Welcome to the virtual college exploration for all Missouri students, sponsored by the Missouri Association for College Admissions Counseling and StriveScan. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You have access to the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen to type any questions you have for our panelists. Your camera and microphone are off, so panelists will not be able to see you or hear you. This is just one of the many sessions being recorded today, so feel free to find other recordings for sessions at moacac.org. And if you'd like to sign up for additional sessions, you can also find that list at our website, www.moacac.org. Now I'd like to turn it over to our panelists.
Excellent. Thank you all so much for coming tonight. We really appreciate it. We're very excited to share with you, a little bit about exactly what we advertise it as, Catholic institutions in Missouri. So we've got the four of us here as panelists, and I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into our presentation to tell you who we are, what we're doing here, all that good stuff. So let me share my screen. And we'll start that off. Okay. So show me my future presentation, Catholic Universities of Missouri. We're going to go ahead and start off with Kenny.
Thank you, Justin. So as you can see by this beautiful picture here, I'm the Assistant Director of Undergraduate Admission here at Avila University here in Kansas City. I guess, Justin, if you want to hit the next one, we'll go on the next slide. Don't need to look at me for too long. So try and give you a quick kind of overview of really, who we are here at Avila University. So I told Justin to put these bullets down, but my brain doesn't work in an organized fashion anyway. So some quick facts about us. We are a small private Catholic school, as you might have guessed already, but we have an undergraduate population of 1,154 students, an average class size of 15 students, and a student faculty ratio of 12:1. So kind of some of the majors we're really well known for, especially here in the KC area, are going to be nursing, our pre-health and radiology, as well as our social sciences and humanities. I am a graduate of Avila University from our psychology department, so completely biased, FYI. But so a lot of those humanities, social sciences, business. We do have what we call the Avila Promise, which is made up of a few pillars. The biggest ones being, we do offer a 4-year graduation guarantee, guaranteed internships or research opportunities for all of our students, and a travel award for all of our students by the time they are a junior. So kind of already touched on small, private, and Catholic. I do want to touch on our missions and values before I turn it over here. So our mission is, that we help students reach their full potential, preparing lifelong learners who make meaningful contributions to the global community. And then our values. So these are things that if you were to be a student here at Avila, you'll hear tons and tons and tons of time. We value the worth, dignity, and potential of each human being, diversity and its expression, the development of the whole person, right relationships with God, self, others, and creation. And lastly, the one you hear all the time is service with the dear neighbor. So that's just kind of real quick about Avila. Justin.
All right, thank you, Kenny. So next is me. So my name is Justin Wilson. I'm the Associate Director of Admission here at Fontbonne University in St. Louis, Missouri. And a little bit about Fontbonne. So we are located in a pretty sweet spot in St. Louis, if you don't know where we are. So Forest Park is in our backyard. So we have the Muni, we have the St. Louis Zoo right there. We have the Del Mar Loop that is about a 20-minute walk away from campus. We've got a really cool mix of different neighborhoods around here. But we are a very safe campus as well. And the area around us is pretty secure in those mindsets. So as far as majors on our campus, we are most well known for some very specific majors. So we have an amazing dietetics program, speech language pathology, We do really well on our campus. Education, especially special education and deaf education, but we also do have K through 12. We do have some partnerships that we're really proud of as well. So we have a nursing partnership program with Goldfarb School of Nursing. We have engineering partnership programs with SIUE, University of Missouri, Kansas City, and WashU, of course, our next door neighbors. And so we have a little bit of everything for everyone as far as academic programs. We are absolutely a small school as well. So our average class size as well is 15, it's funny because we're pretty similar to Avila because Avila is our sister school over here in the St. Louis area. So average class size is 15, student faculty ratio is 10-1. What that all means is that your professors know who you are by name. They know what your aspirations are, and they know what they can do specifically to help you as an individual student get to where you need to go career-wise and just life-wise as well. They're really there to help support you in getting to that next step. As far as extracurricular activities that we have about 20 different student athletics on our campus, including some new ones. We have esports, cheer, dance, stunt, and a wrestling team, both men and women's wrestling. So we're pretty excited about all that good stuff. And we also do, of course, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but we have a lot of student organizations on our campus. We also really encourage students to get involved in the broader St. Louis community. We are very proud of our St. Louis heritage, and so we want to make sure that students know it's not just about you and about Fontbonne in general, but about the wider St. Louis area. So that is a little bit about Fontbonne, and we, of course, will go into a little bit more detail if we have questions, but I'm going to kick it over to Will.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Will Brazel from Rockhurst University. I'm the Assistant Regional Director, so I live and work out of St. Louis, deal with the St. Louis students and also the students down in the Boot Hill there. Going forward with Rockhurst University, we are located in Kansas City, Missouri, so we are far enough to get away from home, but close enough to come back for most of you, so not too shabby there. We have a Catholic Jesuit faith as our background, and we look forward to giving you some updates and experiences with this here later on. Going forward, Rockhurst sits on 55 acres right there in the heart of KC. We're about a half mile away from the Country Club Plaza, and we're about across the street from UMKC, so we're right there in the thick of things. On our campus, we have around 3,000 students, 1,500 undergraduate and 1,500 graduate. Going forward, it's all about professors when you're on campus. Our academics are rigorous, and 89% of our professors on campus have a doctorate degree or the highest degree in their field. So that really is going to push you to go forward, and also it's great for jobs and internships and really building your resume. Also, tagging along with that, we have a lot of direct entry programs, and really would love to talk to you about that and tell you what we got going forward. Athletically, we are Ncaa Division Two. We're in the Great Lakes Valley Conference, so we get the opportunity to be in St. Louis, to get up to Chicago, get up to Indianapolis and things like that. So it's going to be fun to be a student athlete. We have 16 athletic sports, so please contact us with that as going forward. A couple of new updates for us this year. We bought and acquired St. Luke's College of Health Science, so that really ups our nursing game, and that opens us up to the extra 300 hospitals throughout the St. Luke's system. Going forward, again, this is our second year as being test optional, so please submit your scores if you wanted to, but we're going to base your entry off of your GPA from high school, so it's going to be fantastic on that route. This past fall was our largest class, and we look forward to keep growing, and especially with you attending. But as of right now, I want to say thank you for joining us, and we'll go off to Katie with Lou.
Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining. My name is Katie and I'm a senior admission counselor at SLU. I work with students from the St. Louis area, so I take care of some of the bigger districts in the St. Louis County, so the Parkway District, as well as the Rockwood District. And I also take care of St. Charles County, and I am currently pursuing my graduate degree at SLU and will graduate in December with a degree in leadership and organizational development. But I'm so excited to talk to you a little bit more about SLU. So we are a mid-sized university located in the city of St. Louis. We do have around 8,000 undergraduate students and about 5,000 graduate students. So we do have some graduate programs as well as professional schools, which are also include our law school. We have a medical school. We have a physician assistant program. So a lot of great postgraduate opportunities as well. We are unique in that we also have our own campus in Madrid, Spain. So it's called SLU Madrid. You can study there for all 4 years. However, a lot of our students will spend a semester or potentially a year in Madrid. About 60% of our students study abroad. So we are pretty unique in that the majority of our students do spend some time abroad as a college student. A fun fact for you is that we are over 200 years old. We were founded in 1818, so we celebrated our bicentennial a couple of years ago, and we are also a Catholic Jesuit university like Rockhurst. And then kind of some quick and fast facts for you about the university. Being a mid-sized school, one of my favorite things is that our students have a lot of great access to resources and opportunities. However, that classroom experience is going to still be on the smaller side. So our average classroom size is 26 students. We have a 9-to-1 student to faculty ratio with around 90 direct entry programs to choose from. Some of our programs that are, I would say, the most popular are going to be we have a direct entry nursing program. We have a doctorate in physical therapy, master's in occupational therapy. We're also very popular for those interested in the health careers, business, and engineering. So with us being direct entry, that basically means you can start those classes that you're passionate about as a freshman. So, but that doesn't mean you can't change your major. Average college student across the country changes their major about 3 times, and your generation is projected to change careers 11 times. So it's really great to get that well-rounded education that we'll talk about today. Another cool thing about being mid-sized is we are Ncaa Division One for our sports. You can go to all athletic events for free, which is super exciting. For kind of like a profile type of thing to input, our average GPA is a 3.91, and that is weighted or unweighted. We do have over 150 clubs and organizations that you can get involved in that range anywhere from intramural sports to Greek life, performance-based, campus ministry. And another thing to note too, a change to our admission process this year is that we are test optional. So that is a big deal for us. We've never been test optional before, so we look forward to working with you in this new and changing environment.
All righty, thank you, Katie. So that was our PowerPoint presentation, and now we're just going to go ahead and get into some pre-prepared questions that we have thought about ourselves as far as what students might be curious about when it comes to the Catholic University experience. So we're going to go ahead and get started with those, but I want to reiterate that we absolutely want to answer any questions that our participants have. So if you, as a student, have anything specifically that you want to know about Catholic universities in Missouri, or if you have anything specific you want to know about Avila, Rockhurst, Fontbonne, or SLU, absolutely drop those questions into the screen, and we'll chat about them at a later time. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our first question. And I think it's a pretty easy one, so let's go ahead and rock into it. Does a student have to be Catholic to attend your university?
Okay, I'll start off with that question. So students do not have to be Catholic to attend SLU. So as a Jesuit university, I want to give like a really brief kind of overview, and I know my colleague will also kind of speak to this, but the difference between a Jesuit school and a Catholic university, they are just a little bit different. So there are 27 Jesuit universities across the country, but we also identify as Catholic. So we really focus on the holistic education, so mind, body, and spirit. We also have a strong emphasis in social change and social justice. But as a Catholic Jesuit university, we do have about 50% of our students that identify as Catholic. However, we have so many different faith backgrounds on campus, and our campus ministry not only caters to those that are Catholic or Christian, but that actually have a variety of faiths. A lot of people don't know we actually have a mosque on campus. So there are a lot of different ways to plug into the faith community at SLU, but you do not have to be Catholic to attend.
Yeah, and to follow up with Katie at SLU, same thing with Rockhurst. You do not have to have any religious background to attend Rockhurst University. Currently on our campus, we are 50-50, split 50% of our students have a Catholic background and 50 do not. The other 50 that we have Protestants, we have Jewish students, we have Muslim students, we even have atheist students on our campus. So we have a wide variety of things. A couple of courses that you will have to take are 2 theology courses at Rockhurst, but that's just the introductory of the Jesuits. Tells you a little bit about our liberal arts curriculum and just our background and things like that. But with overall, you do not have to be Catholic to come to the university.
Excellent. And again, this is Justin with Fontbonne. As with the other 2 that just went before me, you do not have to be Catholic to attend Fontbonne University at all. We do have a high percentage of students that are Christian affiliated, whether it's Catholic or Southern Baptist or any of those different religions. But we also do have a large population of students who identify as Muslim, a large population of students who identify as Jewish. And so we really are open to not only, religious expression, but a lot of other things when it comes to talking about the issues of diversity, which I'll kind of go into a little bit later.
Then, of course, I have a similar answer to everybody else up here. You do not have to be Catholic to attend Avila University. So I mentioned I'm an Avila grad. So actually, I recall my senior year writing the sort of my essay for the campus ministry department. And then I recall also the head of campus ministry, Dave Armstrong, mentioning my paper in his kind of our first meeting. And I was talking about how I was excited to be with people who were kind of the same faith background because I was Catholic. And I was kind of excited to be with people who, I went to a public school in high school. So I was excited to be around more Catholic people. And he pretty much tore it down and roasted it. He talked about, well, that's not what we want. And so I mentioned in our values, we talked about diversity and its expression. And I think that, is one of the things, our campus is 22% Catholic, and being in campus ministry as, an Avila grad, I can tell you there's tons of different faith traditions within that. And for me, that was one of my favorite parts about it. So although I came in looking for kind of people of similar mindset, really what helped me to grow, and I know, what other students that I've talked to has found as well, is that different, that diverse background is really helpful. So that's something that, Avila, and it sounds like everyone else here, quite frankly, but that we really take pride in.
All right, thank you, everyone. So the next question we have is, what is one benefit to attending a Catholic university or college?
And I'm up again. So for me, like I said, I didn't go to a Catholic high school growing up. So for me, I was really interested in being a part of that. So for me, we talk about our mission and our values and service to the dear neighbor and the commitment to the entire person. So for me, one, all of us are relatively, SLU, the biggest of us, and still, having, relatively small class sizes. I guess I'm going to talk for everybody, who knows. But for me, my favorite part was getting to know those teachers and finding those missions and, missions and values kind of lived out on campus every day. I've seen teachers stop students from walking out of the classroom to ask them to, come into their office hours for, extra help, get prepared for the next test. So, for me, being at, a Catholic university, for me, it's all about those values and how those are lived out on campus every day. I'll say again, as someone who has been through it.
So something I would say is a benefit is kind of like Kenny mentioned, being just at a very mission-driven university. So again, we are a Jesuit school that has just like very specific things in place to pursue that mission. And so a lot of our classes will offer a service component. There is kind of that vibe of that our students are really coming to really become their best self and their best person. And at SLU, we talk about being men and women with and for others. And so our students are engaged in literally millions of service hours every year, and it's to basically contribute to the greater good. And so I think really just being at a place that you're surrounded by people that just want to make the world a better place, I think is one of the best kind of benefits. And another thing too, as Kenny mentioned, really kind of again, educating that whole person. So really taking care of your mind, your body, your spirit, and also encouraging your classmates, your professors in pursuing that specific mission, I think those are my kind of favorite things.
And to follow up off the other two as well, one thing I would suggest is commitment to students. Anything from the faculty and staff all the way down to, the men and women mowing the grass and doing all the yard work and things like that, and all the inner workings for us, our crews and things like that. It all they're going to do everything with the Jesuit background for us. Big thing is going to be MOACAC, which is Latin for more. And everybody's going to look and reflect and say, hey, we're here for you. What can you do for us as we look to do for you? And it's a great partnership and go forward. But again, with small class sizes being very personable, open academic advising and things like that, it is awesome. And they really take the time to benefit for you because you're the future. You're going to make everything bigger and brighter, and we're just here to lead you. So it's all.
All right, and to round it all out, I think the most important benefit that I've seen from attending a Catholic institution is not only being able to build a strong, values-based, personal community on campus, but also understanding the larger global community around us and where you specifically as an individual fall into that, and how you can make sure that you are doing your best part as a responsible citizen to serve the larger community, whether it is the larger nation of America or whether it is, again, the world. I think it's very important. We focus a lot on service, a lot on helping others, a lot on really just making sure that it's not so siloed. Your vision of what is good is not just what's good for me as an individual, but what is good for everyone. And so I think that is the benefit that I've seen the most from having students attending a Catholic institution. All right, so the next question is going to be, what is one misconception that you can think of that you've had to address with students about Catholic institutions, Catholic colleges and universities? And I'm actually first on that. So the biggest misconception that I've really seen is that students often worry that as a smaller private Catholic affiliated institution, Fontbonne is not diverse at all, that it is very homogeneous, that it is very much so straight, white, cisgender men and women, and that there is no ability to interact with people who might be different than you. And we kind of talked about this a little bit before, but Fontbonne is very dedicated, as well as my partner schools as well. We are very dedicated to the idea of diversity, and not just the idea of diversity, but the putting diversity into action and calling it out and talking about why having diverse voices is important and diverse experiences, why that's important. So we have about 40% of our total student population who identify as students of color. And that's including an 11% of students who are identifying as non-domestic students from other areas besides the United States. We also have a large population of students who identify as first generation, students who identify as lower income, students from rural backgrounds versus the urban backgrounds versus suburban. And we really take a look at all of those different ways that we are different from each other, and we have conversations about them. We have programming opportunities where we can have frank discussions about what it means to be pursuing higher education from this lens, who I am, versus what it means pursuing higher education from other lenses, and what can be beneficial, how can we help each other, and also just where those struggles are and how we can make sure that those struggles are lessened.
It is me next. I wasn't looking. So what Justin said, and with being a sister school with Fontbonne, I know Avila, us here in Avila and Fontbonne have quite a bit in common. And so much of what he said, I would say echoes true here. Another thing that I think people automatically think, and I've gotten into college fairs, is private must be really expensive too. And so I also get to be the first Avila employee to talk about the new scholarship grid today. So it's exciting too. So, that's something that, it's so exciting for us as we continually see more of a, diverse, whether that be, diverse racial background on campus, socioeconomic, you name it. So for me, I think that's a large part of it, kind of basing, that off of kind of that diversity point. I think I told the story when we were meeting yesterday with everybody here, but I had somebody walk up to us when we were at a theater conference with our theater director, and this kid he was nervous to talk to us because we were in a Catholic institution. He's like, well, I know you guys are Catholic and I'm gay, and you could just see the worry on his face. And our director, he caught it immediately. He said, I came here and I was not going to change who I am, and they did not ask me to. And I think that was, I mean, for me, that was an awesome moment, be able to connect with that student. But, as you can tell, I bring everything back from anecdotes. But I really do feel like that was a really cool moment for me, especially as someone who went here, who came from kind of a smaller town, and my thinking has changed from my experiences dramatically here. So again, I sort of echoed a lot of what Justin said too, but kind of that cost piece is another thing that I think can be really, really big.
So I would echo what my colleagues have said too. I think the biggest takeaway I think that you might potentially take away from all of this, from this question, is that our universities do not just have one type of student. So they have different beliefs, not only with things like religious beliefs, but also political beliefs. And we don't have just one type of cookie cutter student in our institution. And I would say there are a lot of universities that would also say the same. And so I think one of the biggest things that I've worked with families on is that they have kind of a fear that they wouldn't fit in for one reason or another. And so I think that also, I'm sure that everyone in this group would say that our students are the best, and that they're just such a welcoming and a committed student body. And so I think that talking more about our community and how our students they do challenge each other on their beliefs. I won't lie to you that they do. And they really want to see different perspectives. But I think that the biggest one that I've taken away is just that, we don't have just one type of belief as even a private Jesuit Catholic university.
And to have the opportunity to follow up with this question, to give some perspectives, while you're checking out the other universities as well, is, do I have to have a dress code? No, you don't. To attend universities, be yourself. We're not going to be strict and say, hey, you have to wear this every day and things like that. You're a college student, you're an adult, you get to live out a little bit. You don't have to attend mass. It's very optional. It's not going to be pushed upon you all the time. You don't have to go to confessional. It's not going to be a thing for you. You don't have to worry about that stuff. You're going to be okay. And, go ahead and ask us questions. Keep us updated and things like that. We're always here for you. Then also going forward, same with Rockhurst. The diversity is awesome. I mean, we represent close to 40 different states and about 12 different countries. We get out and about, especially with service immersion trips. I mean, we go anywhere from New York to New Orleans to Texas to California. Then we get down to the Caribbean, to Guatemala, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and things like that. It's awesome how everybody comes together, gels really well, and goes out and does the world good. So it's a lot of fun. But the perceptions and things like that to attend a Catholic university, talk to us about it. We'll be honest and we'll get you updated. But no, you don't have to dress code, no confessional, no mass, anything like that.
All right, and Will, you teed it up perfectly for the next question. So let's go ahead, and Will, why don't you start us off with talking about what are the religious requirements for students at your institution?
The religious requirements for Rockhurst University is we have none. So we are open to all students, all faiths, all backgrounds. When you come in, it's an invitation from Rockhurst. It's not an expectation. We want to invite you in. We want to show how warm and welcome it is. I mean, with our academic stats and the progress that we have for students going all throughout 4 years and things like that, it is fantastic. But for you to come in, do you need to be any specific person or thing? No, you don't. And that's the best part about it. And that's one reason why we're always helping you out.
Excellent. Now it's my turn. So we have a very similar, of course, explanation on our religious requirements on our campus. So I like to talk about Fontbonne as being Catholic with a little c. And what that means to me is that we are not overbearing. We're not here to indoctrinate anyone about any beliefs, whether they be Catholic, Christian, whatever it is. We're not here to teach you how to live your life in a specific set and function, but more of just how to be kind to people, how to care for each other, again, how to build that community. So we do have Mass on our campus twice a week. You're not required to go to Mass, but it's there for you if you wanted to get involved. We have a vibrant campus ministry community. Again, not something you have to get involved with if that's not what you're looking for in the college experience. The one requirement that we really do have on our campus is that students take one religion course. And that can be anything as specific as Catholicism within the 1800s to anything as broad as logic, which on our campus is a class specifically about how organized religions are formed. It's not anything about a specific religion entirely. So other than that, you know, we don't have curfew. We don't have a dress code either. We don't have rules where you have to carry your Bible around with you. And I say these things because there are institutions, no disrespect to them, but there are institutions that do have those requirements. And I think it's very important to note that Fontbonne, as well as Rockhurst and you know, Katie and Kenny will talk about their institutions as well soon. That's not our institution.
Yeah, so again, a similar answer, and you know, along the lines of Fontbonne too. Mass twice a week as well. I don't know if it's 4:30 on Wednesdays and 11 a.m. on Sundays like ours is, but boom. We're going to be a lot the same. We don't have any religious requirements. You do not have to be a part of. You don't have to attend Mass. We are also the same way. We do require one religion course. It used to be a little bit different, but that's been adjusted. It's not a religious requirement, but all of our first year students, except for in the year of COVID, so this year, we do have a service trip during our orientation week before classes even get started. So 100% of our first year students do participate in service, which is awesome. We also do have Dear Neighbor Day in every April, which is, you know, I talked that service to the Dear Neighbor, so kind of a Sisters of St. Joseph theme. But that's not required either. So, you know, as with everybody else, tons of opportunities to be involved if you're interested in it, but no true religious requirements besides one course.
So as I mentioned kind of in my introduction, you do not have to be Catholic to attend SLU. We do actually have Mass every day, but again, it is something that is not required, but our students joyfully go. They do not feel pressured, but they really pursue it as a joy instead of as a requirement. So we do actually have a very popular Mass that takes place on Sundays, and it brings about 1,000 people from the SLU community. We have a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous cathedral on our campus. It actually is a 2-year waiting list to get married. But again, students are not forced to go. But we do find that students of other faith backgrounds will join Mass, especially that Sunday night Mass. So one thing to know is that, you know, you don't have to be Catholic, but you have the ability to practice your faith, even if it isn't the Catholic faith on our campus. As far as like the classroom setting goes, our students do take a theology class and a philosophy class, but there are a ton of different topics and sections, and so students can find one that they are most comfortable with. And so it does not have to be kind of like Justin mentioned. It's not just like one specific class where you are going to be pushed the same type of information, but students really can read through the course description and fulfill that requirement by choosing one that's going to be the best fit for them.
All right, and then the last prepared question that we have right now is going to be, how much is it to attend your institution? So what are tuition and fees looking like, and what scholarship opportunities are available for students? And we are going to lean into a little bit, this is why this is going to be a little bit longer of a question to answer. We're going to lean into what scholarships do we have specifically for students who identify as Catholic or come from a Catholic high school, anything like that as well. So let's go ahead and kick it off.
So I'm taking the ball first here. So we do not have the specific final number yet. I could give you a little bit of a clue as how you're going to know, you know, the second you get locked in here at Avila, you're going to know kind of 4 years down the line what the tuition looks like. So we're estimating that tuition is going to be right around $21,800 for the year. So once you include room and board with that, as a student who lives on campus, you're going to be looking at a sticker price before any of your scholarships, depending on which dorm you're looking at, around $29,000 to $30,000 for the year. So I mean, especially tuition wise, that is for a lot of private schools, that's a little bit low. That was part of what we called the Avila Promise when we officially rolled it out. And so our new scholarship grid, as I mentioned before, your base academic scholarship for anyone who's admitted, that you'll get automatically based on either And I did mention before, we are test optional as well. So depending on either the two grids, whether that's the traditional admissions requirements or the test optional, it's going to land you between 7,000 and 12,000. So everyone's going to land somewhere in that initial box. And then we do have extra scholarship opportunities. So anyone interested in athletics here, that is separate from our academic scholarships and they don't stack, but that would be something where we would connect you with coaches, and that's something that we can easily and quickly do for you on campus as well, and you would get kind of a number from that. But there are also scholarship opportunities such as engagement grants. So for people who are interested in campus ministry, student senate, anyone interested in being an ambassador who gives tours. We also offer performance grants. So I had mentioned kind of it being at a theater conference. We are finishing up our renovations to Gofford Theater, a $9 million operation, which is really cool and really exciting. So for people interested in kind of the performing arts or just art in general, there's some different performance grants opportunities for those students interested in that as well. And then lastly, to kind of wrap up, we do offer scholarships for students graduating from Catholic high schools. So that's $1,000 automatically on top of anything else that you will be getting. So
I'm going to try to give you kind of the quick and fast overview. Our cost of attendance, so without any sort of scholarships, financial aid, this includes fees, tuition, and room and board, is right around $60,000 a year. Our average financial aid package is usually around about $35,000. So we do offer a few different types of aid. So we do have automatic merit-based scholarships. We also offer competitive scholarships. And then we do offer need-based aid from the university as well. So our merit scholarships are automatic. You just have to apply for admission to be considered for those. And those range from $8,000 a year up to $23,000 a year. We do have 2 competitive scholarships that do require a separate application, and then we don't require the FAFSA, but if you submit the FAFSA, we will review you for need-based aid from the university and let you know what you are eligible for from the state as well as the federal government. We have those merit scholarships again, and for those that go to a Catholic high school and are graduating from there, or a Jesuit high school, for Catholic high school students that are graduates, $4,000 on top of your merit scholarship every year. And then for Jesuit high school, it is $5,000 on top of your merit scholarship every year. We also do offer something called a Jesuit Community Scholarship, which you might be nominated for from your high school if you are a Catholic school, and your counselor can nominate you, and that can go up to full tuition. So there's a lot of great opportunities, and a lot of people about faint when I let them know of our cost of attendance. However, that will vary, of course, depending on your scholarship eligibility, also if you choose to live on campus or commute from home, and what type of residence hall that you choose as well.
Jumping in with Rockhurst, our sticker price, we're at $49,730, and that includes tuition, meal plan, and housing. You get the opportunity to come in. It's going to be fantastic for you. Now, that's the price, so don't let that scare you or anything. With scholarships, we're jumping in for the academic side. We are test optional, and we do have direct entry positions, so you send us your information, we evaluate it, and we give you your academic scholarship. Then based off of that, we have institutional scholarships where you get to, compete. We have a Finucane Service Award where you're building your service resume and you're going to be one of 20. We have Competitive Scholars Day where you get to, you finish in our top scholarship, which is our Breen Scholarship, and you're going to be invited to campus and you get to compete and interview for a full tuition scholarship. And again, you get to be in the top 20 for that. We have language scholarships. We have the athletic awards, and we are able to stack with those. And also with internships and research. Our campus, we do have live college research. You get your hands dirty for us, and that does come with some benefits of scholarships and also internships. A lot of things that people don't know about Rockhurst is with our internships, a lot of them are paid. They love to get you out and about in the city or around the metro of KC, and they get the hands-on experience. But with funding and also institutional scholarships and great financial aid packages, where we can really help you go forward.
Alrighty, and then for Fontbonne, just to lay it out for you, we don't have the final numbers yet this year, but this year we have seen that for tuition, student fees, room, and your meal plan on campus, it is still going to be underneath $39,000 a year. So we're very excited for that, especially if you're thinking about the surrounding area of Clayton. It's a pretty rich area with a lot of old money in it. So to be able to live on campus in this area for that amount of money per year and get your education, we like those costs right there. Those numbers are great. So now looking at our financial aid, every student who applies and gets accepted to Fontbonne automatically receives a merit scholarship between $6,500 and $15,000 a year. We also do have a Catholic High School Recognition Award. So anyone from any Catholic high school, wherever, not just in the Midwest, but they'll get a $2,000 scholarship on top of their merit scholarship. We also do have an A+ recognition award. So any student who has done the A+ program will get an extra $1,000 a year on top of the scholarships we've already given them. We also do not require the FAFSA, but we definitely encourage it because we have the Fontbonne Grant and the Fontbonne Promise. So I want to really quickly talk to you about those. The Fontbonne Grant is for students who are living on campus, where we say, what is the out-of-pocket cost with everything else that you've already gotten from Fontbonne? Okay, well, that's not financially feasible for you. So let's give you a Fontbonne Grant anywhere between $1,000 to $18,750 on top of everything else you're getting from us, the state, and the federal government to help bring that cost down substantially. So we are actually a pretty affordable institution for students who want to live on campus. And then the Fontbonne Promise is actually an award that we started about 3 years ago, where we decided to say, for a certain amount of students each year who do the FAFSA, and the FAFSA comes back and says, your family has $0 to give towards your college education financially, for a certain amount of students each year, we've said, we've got you. Full tuition and student fees covered for not just 4 years, but up to 5 years, because we do realize that even though the tradition is students will get in and get out within that 4-year period, sometimes life happens. And so we want to be able to support those students by giving you an extra year in case you need it. So that's what financial aid looks like on our campus. We also do have scholarships for students who are wanting to study the fine and performing arts. We have cybersecurity and computer science scholarships as well, so a plethora. And all of our scholarships and financial aid are renewable as long as you maintain a 2.0 GPA and as long as your family's financial situation doesn't change drastically. So tell mom and dad, don't go and win the lottery or strike oil in the backyard, and we're gonna be good as far as your financial aid goes. So we do have one question in, and we've got about 3 minutes, it looks like. So I wanna go ahead and give us some time to answer this one question, and that is about study abroad. So let's go ahead and starting with Katie, do you have study abroad on your campus, and what does it look like?
Yeah, so we have a Madrid, Spain campus, and it is open for students of any major to study abroad there. We also have students that actually go and do like internships, clinical experiences too. One of my very favorite students that just graduated, she actually did clinicals for her nursing program in Madrid, which is pretty cool. But we also do have around 40 other partnered locations on all continents except for Antarctica. And so there's a lot of different ways that you can study abroad. And one of my favorite things about Madrid or our partnered locations is that your scholarships and your financial aid will go with you. So if you're on a merit scholarship, that will go to those partnered locations as well as SLU Madrid, and those classes will transfer back to you. And so our students are finding that they're basically spending extra money potentially just on their flight, as well as like if they decide to tour Europe on a weekend. Because our Madrid campus, they actually have a 4-day class week. And so they automatically have 3-day weekends every weekend. And so they will literally tour all of the countries. So yes, and about, again, 60% of our students do study abroad. So it's a big, big portion.
With the opportunity to study abroad as well. With Rockhurst, we jump on the Jesuit train, and we team up with the other Jesuit institutions, and we could put you anywhere in the world, just like what Katie was saying, from Madrid, Copenhagen, even after Sri Lanka. We can help you out there. But again, with the Jesuit connections, we can help you study abroad. And again, just like with SLU and Katie, your financial aid and the packages will go with you.
Yeah, so I'll go, and then Kenny, you'll go last. So thinking about study abroad on our campus, we actually do a really awesome thing where we partner with different institutions for their study abroad experiences. So we actually do partner with SLU, so Katie over there. I don't know that we partner yet with Rockhurst, but that's something we might have to start putting together. But we partner with different schools in Missouri, and we say, what study abroad experiences do you have? Great. let's go ahead and put our students on those study abroad experiences. So we also have that opportunity to say, we're going to put you wherever you want to go, whether it is a specific SLU campus in Spain, like Madrid, or if it's, you want to go for just a week to the Bahamas or whatever it looks like for you. So we do have those study abroad partnerships. We also have a really interesting partnership with Avila where you can actually do because we are sister schools, you can do a semester in Kansas City if you are a Fontbonne student, or an Avila student can come and do a semester in St. Louis.
You want me to go real quick? Okay, awesome. Ours is, so we don't have the kind of traditional study abroad. I did mention kind of our Avila Promise. One of the things that we do offer each and every one of our students is a travel award. So by the time you guys are a junior, you're going to have $1,000 towards any of our travel courses. That's typically how most of our students spend most of their travel, is through a travel course. So there's a ton of different ones. A couple of the most popular and common ones are going to be the social work department head, Dr. Organi, brings group to India every year. Typically, we have a lot of IS courses, which are called interdisciplinary courses, that go all over the place, from Central Kansas fun to Italy, all over the place. So a lot of cool opportunities for that.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much. Thank you everyone at home for joining us. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey for you guys to fill out. We'd love to know how you're liking this virtual fair process. This was also one of just many sessions that are a part of the virtual college fair. So visit www.moacac.org to find a list of the rest of those sessions. And in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recordings along with any other recordings from today at moacac.org. Thanks for joining us.